So here's the technical presentation that Mark Cerny did today to announce the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it didn't go that long. It was pretty short, and it started off pretty well. It got straight to the point. He said it straight away that that they're there to do the PlayStation 5 Pro, so it wasn't no big build up to it in the video. It was just straight in. But just I still can't get over um literally the difference between the PlayStation 5 and the Pro. I know that there wasn't a big jump in change between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, but and I know that you still got to have games that can run on both the Pro and the PlayStation 5. So all I can gather from this is all it's doing is, like he's saying at the beginning, is PlayStation 5 players had to either pick the fidelity mode or the performance mode. And I know I'm looking at this on my phone, and people are probably going to be like, well, if you watch this on a 55-inch telly or cinema screen or something like that, then you'll be able to see the differences. But in parts of this video, he ends up having to zoom right in on things right in the background just to show that there's a little bit more detail on it on the Pro. So that to me is just, it's not worth it, because I'm not looking at things that are right in the background. When I'm looking at the main characters and the action that's going on, I might be looking here and there in the background, but I'm not focusing on the detail and how many pixels there are and things like that. I mean, maybe some people are, but a lot of this as well is, are you really going to notice it unless you're on a cinema screen or on having two screens right next to each other? Are you really going to notice? I like the other bits of what it was saying, this AI driven upscaling with the PSSR, which fills in like the little pixels and things like that. But that feels like it's something that, is it I don't know if it's software or something, or if it's got its own RAM and chips and stuff that are in the PlayStation, then fair enough. But if it's just software, why could this not be something that was on the regular PlayStation 5? You know, that's like new tech or whatever. Like, I thought DLS was, it's kind of, games incorporate it into their game engines and things like that, and so you can have that as an option, and it's kind of, AI driven. I don't know, maybe I don't really understand all that stuff as well as some people do, and I'll probably get told that it's, you have to have dedicated chips for it, blah blah blah. But to me, like, I'm just looking at this on my phone and looking at the thing, and he's doing it in slow motion, and I can't see no difference between the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I know this bit is the bit where he's comparing the PlayStation 5 Pro with where it's got the performance and fidelity mode all in one, and so you're kind of getting the 60 frames plus the details, whereas fidelity is just that. But he's showing here performance mode now, and so this is 60 frames per second, or should be there, here or thereabouts, with 60 frames per second. And see this, I don't understand that. What is the difference? I don't get it. It's not like a big difference, if it was like a difference between a PlayStation 5 game and an early PS4 game, and you could tell the difference, then that's fair enough. And I know it's got to run on both, but you can still have games that look really good and run really fast and have loads of detail and have all the ray tracing and have all of this stuff, and be super super powerful, and still have a weaker version of the console, and everything looks, you know half the sort of, the speeds, with the 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second, and the detail looking, nowhere near as nice, like not being able to see little hairs and little beads of sweat and water, and you know all of the very detailed reflections and stuff, but just having basic reflections and having, you know some detail, but not close up. When you get your binoculars out and zoom right in, like 100 times zoom, and have a look for a little tiny scratch on the back of this car, compared to the PlayStation 5 that won't have the tiny little scratch on it, because it can't have that, because this hasn't got enough power or something, you know. To me, these games all look nice on my PlayStation 5 anyway. And I play on a monitor that's like a 24-inch screen or something like that, and that's where I do my gaming. And then when my son plays on his PS5, he plays on the living room TV, and that's like a 55-inch screen. And so I was thinking maybe the Pro for him for there, because it's bigger screen, and you might see the difference between that compared to where it's on my one. But for the price, this is crazy, and there was nothing else. I was hearing some rumors today that there was going to be a new controller that was going to be somewhere in between the controller that we already have and the Elite controller. So it was going to have some of the bits with newer kind of, where you could maybe change the controller, like take the plates off, like, and interchange them or something. Bits like that, interchangeable parts or whatever, upgradable parts. So there's nothing like that. There's nothing, about any kind of bundles or, coming with a PlayStation 5 Pro super enhanced versions for free of, Ratchet and Clank or something like that, or, a remake of a game, or like Last of Us, another remake, or something. It doesn't come with, from what I'm gathering, anything. It's just going to be the PlayStation 5 with a controller, basic controller, and that's it. No games. So you're going to have to buy games. And who's this for? Is it just for the people who have crazy amounts of money and, massive, great big screens, and they want that slightly more detailed graphics, but they've already got a PlayStation 5 already? And people without a PlayStation 5 who might be thinking of getting a PlayStation 5 for themselves or for their kids for Christmas, probably just going to buy the regular PS5. So, I don't know, £699. I don't know. I just thought like the PlayStation 5 might get a price drop, and then a PlayStation 5 Pro would kind of go into its price bracket and just maybe be a little bit more expensive, but come with a game or something. And they could have given a Ratchet and Clank, an Astrobot game, or just Astrobot, the new Astrobot game, something like that. But unless they come out with that later on and with more details between now and November 7th, that it's going to come with something, then I don't see, unless you're paying for just them 3 stripes on the play, and I love PlayStation, and I have done for the whole 30 years that they've been around, and I've had every single PlayStation, and I've had multiple of them. I've had the original PlayStation 3 as well, and then got the sort of the slimmer version, and the matte finish and stuff, so it wasn't as noisy. And I had the PlayStation 1, and I had the PlayStation 2, and I had 2 different versions of that PlayStation 2, and I had the hard drive thing that plugged into the back, so that you could add more storage and things like that to it. And hundreds and hundreds of games that I've got for these consoles and stuff. So I'm not kind of bashing Sony, but when they do something wrong, it's just like, I just don't know. I just think they should have waited until next year or something, and I think people should wait now until PlayStation 6 comes out. Save your money. It's only going to be about another 3 or 4 years, and then we'll be hearing about the PlayStation 6, and that'll probably be like 2029 or 2030 or something anyway.